Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video is season 1, episode 3, entitled Who You Calling Up? I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around. I have all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. The Nasty Bees read a newspaper article pointing out the many fumbles of the comeback performance at the BET Awards. Falling through the performance enter and exit hole, lifeless deliveries with Jill the Thrill forgetting her lyrics, and unexplained interventions, which was Brianna making her mommy calls to home. The article concludes of a group of starstruck nostalgia women with no growth, middle-aged, rapping about money, sex, drugs, and other privalities that were immature in the 90s, but now downright dishonest in 2021. The ladies think, how can we make a comeback from this and do a tour? Val wants to stop hearing about how much they suck and just talk about anything else but that. Bree says that Jeff's memory is coming back and his health is better than ever. Now the only issue is she can't bear to be in the same room as him, and she still hasn't mustered up enough courage to call a divorce attorney. Jill has a new confidence with her next chapter in her life and has even agreed to do an interview with Out magazine. JoJo is flying in for an interview with Hillman School of Music. It's nerve-gripping for Naomi because she's just happy for her daughter, and it's a lot to catch up on. Jill points out that while the article was harshly worded, there were a lot of truths included. They were overconfident with minimal practice for the performance. They all agree now they just need to book another show. Eric called around, but they're even lucky if they can open for Chuck E. Cheese. Naomi spills the beans that she gave up a solo deal, so they've got to make it worth it. It's time for new music, and they need to represent who they are and stand for real grown women with real life experiences. It's time for new tracks and song ideas. A lot of the beats Eric played were originally from Muffin, but were a little too hardcore. There's a group split creatively when it comes to not only the name of their group, but the creative process. Are they still the Nasty Bees? Val thinks that it's their brand, and the B word is just a description that holds power. Jill and Brianna think that it's a thing of the past. Black women have a lot to deal with as it is, so why allow other people to call them that? Eric says from a business standpoint, changing the name would just be a bad idea. When it comes to creating songs, Naomi would approve the beats and write all the lyrics, but Jill and Bri again agree that the creative method is a thing of the past and they all need to write. Naomi reminds her that she writes hits and that's what they need. Bri and Val then add that even though Naomi wrote everything, it doesn't mean that they can't write their own songs now. Bri wants to battle Naomi to make the decision. If Bri wins, they can all have a new way, with everyone writing their own verse. If Naomi wins, they'll bow down and allow her to continue the creative control. Jill wants them to just keep it friendly, but Naomi says this ain't friendly. This is hip-hop. And now the rap battle begins. 3 rounds and Bri goes first since she wanted the battle. Bri addresses how none of the members are like Milli Vanilli. They all have talent. Now Naomi was only thinking of herself instead of working as a group. And if she wanted to go solo, she should have just left. Naomi goes in with no gloves and straight for the jugular. She points out how she's not on her level. She's always been a stripper, never a rapper. To have her kids ask their daddy why he left her, that Bri is the face for the around-the-way girl. They were supposed to be Nasty Bees, but not spread their legs to the world. It's swift, smooth bars and hits below to the belt, and Naomi wins the first round. Now it's time for round 2. Bri then takes off her gloves and tells Naomi she should find her baby daddy, that she would give her mommy advice, but she'd probably get it wrong. Naomi has a complex, which is really sad because when she looks in the mirror, she knows she's Michael Jackson bad. that Naomi's mirror always breaks because she has an ugly attitude. Naomi returns with saying she's always written all the lyrics, but all Bri had to do was steal her style. Now she's acting like she's the golden child. Bri can do it all day and write whatever she wants, but it'll never be a hit. And on top of that, nobody will want to hear it. She goes on to say that she's never been lyrical, she's never been in the booth, and she will never be on her level. Eric, Jill, and Val agree that Bri wins that second round. It's 1-1, and the next win takes the cake. Naomi starts this round when she points out that Bri once again is taking her style. She created a group and could have left her behind, and then Bri would have just been out of sight, out of mind. Does she want to be mommy or the Don copy and fraud? She's not Johnny or Bobby, and Naomi's new addition is strong. So run along, Tyra, we can't bank you, and the leader of the group, we can never rank you. When it's Bri's turn, she doesn't even want to be, but she wants to go off the top, a cappella. She starts by saying it's called growth and maturity. Naomi is stuck in the past, an insecure little girl. Now Bri is spanking her ass. Nasty Girls was a gimmick. Yeah, you got number ones with your lyrics, but now it's time for newness. Nasty Bees has to go so they can no longer be ashamed. Her marriage has nothing to do with stardom or fame, but Naomi uses that to slaughter her name. She learned from Naomi, and now it's time to think about the crew. Naomi needs to learn that everything ain't about you. It's obvious Bri takes the win, but Naomi is clearly upset. She scoffs about if they think they can reinvent themselves without her, then good luck, and she leaves the room. Bri tries to write some lyrics, but is distracted by Jeff needing her help to get back into bed. He tells her that if she needs to take a break, she can, and he'll be okay for a few hours. When Bri takes a break, she visits a divorce attorney. The attorney lets her know straight up that divorce is like a war in court. It's even possible that the opposing lawyer can call her a mother who abandoned her children. That's how crazy it can get. So before she makes a decision about the divorce, she needs to make sure that in no way, shape, or form that marriage can't be reconciled. Bri and Jeff both get a call from their daughter's school concerning vocabulary. She said, more specifically, the B word. Jeff quickly takes offense that the adults in the room don't know that his wife is a multi-platinum artist whose group took words such as hoe, slut, and B and flipped it against a misogynist industry. They took those names along with their individual powers to make their fans feel empowered. It's sad that the administration doesn't understand that expression and how they should be reevaluated in the real issues at hand. It's his wife's work of art. Bri is impressed and flattered at everything Jeff said, and Jeff is just glad that she's doing okay. After such a rough meeting, he has a surprise. It's the first cast of the bourbon company they opened, and Jeff had their wedding anniversary date inscribed on it. He was going to wait until their 20th anniversary, but decided they should open it now and that life is too short. Jeff doesn't even know if he's even supposed to drink, but they need a break and they indulge. Jeff apologizes to her again, but Bri admits that she's still angry about what he did and a lot of other things. Jeff knows that things won't be back to normal tomorrow, but he hopes that over a period of time, things can get right. As their moods collide with laughter, Jeff's mistress then calls. Jeff claims that he can't stop her from calling, and he hasn't spoken to her in a while. He didn't even remember who she was until 2 days ago. Now it's time to talk about the real issues because Bri has had enough. She wants to let him know that she saw a divorce attorney. Jeff tells her that the affair was only with one person and it lasted about 3 to 4 months. Bri is so hurt because she gave up her education, her sense of self, and everything for him. She fell back while he got his education and he was a professor, but she wanted to be a professor as well. She had dreams outside of that house and outside being a wife and a mother. That is what's called sacrifice. Jeff has nothing else to say, but what else can I do or need to do just to make things right? Just tell me. He doesn't deserve her, but he needs her. Can she forgive him or are they done? And Bri says, I don't know. Jill has her magazine interview and admits that coming out early would have been the end of her career. In a male-dominated industry, your image had to match what they could see themselves with. The interviewer questions if her religion was the reason why she got married to a man, but she wants to leave him out of the interview. He's innocent in all of this. And the interviewer says that that's fair. Jill says that her coming out story was announced on BET, and her current girlfriend, who she loves, heard it for the first time. She's just trying to be herself. Off the record, the interview is over, and Jill is invited out for drinks later with her friends. She meets the interviewer's friends, and they can't believe that she's never been to a gay bar. Jill admits that she's never been to any gay event at all. She gets overwhelmed by lesbian slang, but later feels a little bit more comfortable as they invite her to the dance floor. Later that night, Jill works on her rap lyrics, but gets a call from Tina. She then ignores her call to get back to writing. She then gets a text message from the interviewer, and now we know her name as Alicia. Now she wants to give her an invite to have some fun with the crew. On another night, when Jill arrives, she notices that the crew isn't there. It's only Alicia at the table. Alicia claims that the others canceled at the last minute. Jill peeps the game and that this so-called thing that's happening makes it seem as if she's trying to show off somebody new. Alicia confirms that the idea is what she thinks it is and touches Jill's leg under the table. It's obvious that it's turning Jill on, but Jill claims that she has to go to the restroom. Instead of going to the restroom, she turns to the front door and leaves. Jill calls Tina because she misses her and wants to come home soon, but then there's a knock at the door. It's Alicia. Naomi greets JoJo when she arrives to LA, and now it's off to Hillman. Naomi also thinks in the back of her mind of Cam asking her that night if he was JoJo's father. When they arrive at the school, Naomi wants JoJo to get her attention when she sees one of us. When they do peep someone that looks like them, it's obvious that they don't want to talk to them at all. As a good idea, Naomi encourages JoJo to just mingle with the kids that are her age. It's an obvious culture shock when they use unfamiliar verbiage with JoJo. They asked what her discipline is and what's her conservatory. She's a little confused by answering the piano and grandmother's living room. A woman tells Naomi to get her a martini, and Naomi responds, "Do you want to die?" It quickly snaps the woman in her place. Finley Weatherford says that he heard the audition piece was Bach's Prelude in number 2 in C minor. When JoJo asked if the piece has to be memorized, he asked her if Grandma taught her that too. Naomi checks in and they notice her as somebody famous, and Naomi says that yes, I am explicit from the Nasty Bees, but I'm here as a mom supporting my daughter. But they say no, you were the one that got crushed by J-Lo from the stage, right? JoJo now has different saddened tones and wants to go practice. Finley sarcastically tells JoJo, good luck tomorrow. JoJo begins to play a piece and is having a little trouble. Naomi checks in and tells her that she can't let those snotty, spoiled head kids just get her out of a good mood. She's better than that. She wasn't raised that way. JoJo is frustrated that she didn't raise her, and she's here now, but she can't claim raising her all this time. She gave up a solo deal and can never explain the reasonings for decisions that she makes. JoJo really wants to know who her dad is, and JoJo knows that her mom is causing this nervous energy. She's never nervous before an audition or a show. Naomi says that I don't want to screw you up any more than I already have. Good luck. Naomi tries to write a verse in her car, but then she has writer's block from too much anger and sadness and drives away. JoJo plays Cream. Naomi comes back and tells JoJo her piano playing is amazing. Everyone gets pre-show jitters, and she should have her own ritual. Hers is tacos from El Matador. JoJo says that's good because she's starving, and she's even happy to try it. She tries it, and the tacos, they're awesome. Naomi shares a story about when she went to Nashville. She didn't see any black people, couldn't find a place to get her hair done, and no one could connect when it came to hip-hop. Atlanta is special. And you're right, you're not like those other kids in there. You're a black woman, and the world tries to make us feel like different is worse. I love us. It's harder, but we're a breath of fresh air. We breathe magic and they're scared of it because they don't have it, but they want it. Show them your magic. And plus, you gotta look fly tomorrow, so new shoes. JoJo is very thankful, and Naomi gives JoJo one more line of advice. Do you. It's number 23, JoJo's turn, and now it's time for the audition. She starts with Bach, and then later mixes Cream, Crush on You, Bodak Yellow, and lastly, Nasty Girl, along with rapping the Nasty Girl hook. Naomi watches in amazement, and when it ends, she gives her a standing ovation. Later on, JoJo is not only amazing when she performs, but she just found out she's in. JoJo says that she loves that her mom is trying to do better, but she needs to know who her dad is. She understands that she doesn't remember and she needs time, but she needs whatever information that she has so she can at least look herself. Valeria comes to Eric because she needs a verse. She's got stage presence, but she doesn't have any bars. She needs something to prove to Naomi, and she needs any help that he can give her. He tells her that when he helps other artists, he helps them remember that everyone has a voice and something to say. He plays some verses that she recorded years ago for inspiration, but Val isn't feeling it. He thinks they need a break. He takes her to a Puerto Rican restaurant, and she loves it. She remembers how she even had food like that back in Queens. When her mother abandoned her, she had on a Puerto Rican flag onesie. It's obvious her mom at least wanted her to have some pride and know who she was and so sort. When it came to her looks and how everybody else wanted her to look, she did it, and she's been hustling for so long that she forgot who the real her was. When she hears a Puerto Rican song, he encourages her to dance. She admits that she misses the excitement and loves Queens. She misses Queens as well. When they return, Val thinks that he's trying to get her into bed, but he's just wanting her to get into the booth. It's just this moment in time where she has enough in her mind to vent her feelings. When she gets in the booth, she's spitting her verse, but as the audience, we hear silence. They're both very excited that she was able to express herself, and the closer they get with hugs, sparks between them start to fly. But Val isn't having it. He feels that they could have been more. They could have been something special. As a matter of fact, he thinks she would have been a great mom, and that's looking forward. Val says she chose a career, and that's exactly what she wanted, and she knew exactly what she was doing, and she leaves. All the ladies return to the rehearsal ground, and now it's time to revamp. Each member has to deliver their own verse. Naomi's verse describes her daughter's kick in her womb when she was falling in love, and it was better than any other verse she had ever written. Sober and a better mom, daughter has changed her life twice. We see a montage scene from earlier when Naomi tells JoJo that they're still getting to know one another and to please give her time. And she promises that she'll help JoJo find out information about her dad. Val raps about how she's more than an orphan. She's a pretty girl but insecure. Hanging around queens made her, and all she has now is the queens in her life. It's queens to her left and it's queens to her right. She sends regards to her mom, and she was lost for so long, but now she has her crown and has found herself. Bree talks about how she took vows and someone slept in her bed. She was superwoman to her family. He wants a marriage, but does he really? She left her wedding ring on the nightstand while she went out to the club, just to remind him what a good wife was. Jill talks about how now she's finally out and free. She's religious, but Satan is always at her door. She's still learning who she is, but won't let anyone stop her journey, and only the Lord knows what's next. We then see a scene of Alicia and Jill. We finally get the news that they did sleep together when she arrived at her door. Lastly, Val adds a hype hook about being independent, proud, and celebrating who you are. Everyone feels the song is surely a moment in their voice. They don't even care if it gets radio play. Naomi says that their new name should be just that, Queens. Eric takes a business phone call of a new name change, but it's a good idea, and at least they should try to release some vintage Nasty B verses and songs that were never released. It can be categorized as a retro album. While going through lyrics, he comes across a verse by Naomi that says she's playing house with a man who ain't my spouse. A life grows inside me, there isn't any doubt. We can't tell the world because his girl will probably leave. Val hears the verse and is upset. Did Naomi have your baby? Bree tells Jeff she's tired while he's watching television, and all she does is stress, worry, think, and about what he did. If she stays, she'll look pathetic. If she leaves, the life with her family changes forever. She needs a change and says that she's going to try to just move forward and forget about what he did. She wants to try to move on and keep things in the past. She gets upset because he's watching TV and he's not responding. As she walks closer, she sees that something isn't right. She checks his pulse and he's cold to the touch. She closes his eyes and all she can do is lay with him in complete shock. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. What in the Game of Thrones is going on? Oh my goodness. I kind of had a gut feeling that was coming. It's definitely a builder series, as I mentioned before, meaning that the storyline continues to build upon itself, just like the series How to Get Away with Murder, for example. Now, what we're learning with each episode is that every group member has a lot of valid reasons to be upset and sad about. Each one of them has given up so much and sacrificed so much for not only the career, but trying to figure out who they are. Now let's talk about Naomi and that rap battle, right? When she walked away at the end, when she lost, right? It was a low blow, but you got to think about where that anger was coming from. Not only did she create the ideas, selected the beats, arranged the songs, the lyrics, and now within, a couple of rap verses, her creative control is now gone. Another thing that she doesn't have her aspect to lead her. She's given up this solo career, and it's like, wow, I've given up that solo career to be creative, and now I'm losing this aspect to be creative here, right? So what a blow that is to have this role for so long, and then it's gone, With Bree, it's her not only having the essence of being a good writer and knowing that she had the potential. She admitted early on in the episode that I could always write. I just didn't. I let Naomi do it. So that's also saying that you didn't allow yourself to be creative. She said she didn't care and she just rolled with it. So now it was harder for people to take her seriously when she said she wanted to have a rap battle with Naomi, because even Jill was like, whoa, maybe you biting out more than you can chew. And then she showed everybody that all that time, she had all of that talent. So you could see why Naomi at the end of that battle was just like, wow, if you had skills like this, then maybe I wouldn't have had to work so hard. But once again, with Bree and her mindset, she was thinking that maybe this is just a way to be a team player. I'm in a group and, whatever. Also, her giving up that dynamic role of her and her education, taking the back seat to Jeff and allowing her to just, be the woman of the house. And she's saying that I'm more than just a mom and a wife. I'm educated. I'm smarter than you, bruh. And I also wanted goals. I had dreams as well. I talk about in the previous episode how the dynamic of career and roles, quote unquote, is changing when it comes to Western society and love and marriage and having children and etc. If you want to just kind of review what I talked about with that, make sure that you check out that previous episode that also comes out in the other series that I review, Queen Sugar, when I talk about a few characters in that series as well. Now let's talk about Val. Right? Val and her family and her lineage. Another builder storyline. We're starting out learning a lot about Jill and Naomi and Bree, getting more of their lives. But what they're doing is they're allowing the ice to slowly melt on Val to where the audience is maybe not as angry with her. So we're learning about her incrementally when it comes to aspects of her life. We learn about her abandonment. Now we're learning a little smidgen more more about her mom, how she was found, all of this stuff, knowing her roots, how she remembered the food and the dancing and all of that. So we're building a sense of audience connection more with Valeria's character. So what we get in this episode is a little bit more about her mom. Her mom, she's saying that, she gives love to her mom and she's moving forward and all this good stuff. So it's pretty inevitable that we're going to learn if she has an interest to find her mother. And it's a builder, creative script. And that's what they're doing. Builder storylines in this is we have two storyline builders now. We started off with a few main ones that we might have gotten the idea, but the main one so far is who shot who, right? I said in episode 1, it's kind of like, who shot JR, if you know about that soap opera back then, where it just like swept the nation and across the world about this mystery. And it seems like they're trying to do that as well. I estimated that in episode 1. It's just, I think they're going to build this storyline about who's JoJo's dad. And that's what they're doing. But also we have who shot who. So we're with more information, we forget like, oh yeah, there was a gunman and somebody shot. So it's just, going to be like, who is that gun person? And I estimated that it looked like the body frame of a woman, but now it's just like, who was the person that shot and did anybody get shot? And we also have that little element of that clue in the last episode. Clearly Eric had been beat up. What fight was he in? Who was it with? So we have all of these builder aspects. When it comes to Jill, we now have additional things with her, right? That she's come out, she's living her life, she's living her truth, and now she has a world that is accepting, bringing her in. She's invited to the bar. They're teaching her the lingo, right, of certain things. And her saying she's never been to a gay bar or gay anything. So it's this new world that's been opened up to her. And that element of temptation, of Alicia, and all of that was just so overwhelming. She caved to it. Now, here's something also to think about. Earlier in the episode where the women were talking about men and Jeff cheating and all this other stuff, Eric did want to chime in and say, hey, from a male's perspective, and they all told him to shut up. I can make a good guess that what he was going to say is that when a man cheats, it has nothing to do with love. It's an aspect of getting away from responsibilities, elements. There's a lot of reasons why people cheat. So he was going to give his idea, his thought behind it of why he probably did that. And he was probably going to say, Jeff loves you, who he cheated with, he doesn't love. It was just a thing, blah, 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 blah. Take a good guess that that's what it was, right? So with him listening to those lyrics from Naomi, from back in the day, we can also conclude that those lyrics can apply to Cam or Eric, right? It can go to either person, because we don't know if Cam was with somebody. It's totally possible that he had a girlfriend at the time as well. Once again, that builder aspect of a script. So, and then also we have to think about, we have more clues with Naomi. She said in her verse when they were making this new track that she's sober and she has this second chance in her life, all this other stuff. And that could give us another clue of why Naomi was telling JoJo she doesn't remember. And that maybe if she would have told that person she was pregnant, they weren't ready and all this other stuff. So it's kind of like she said those things because she honestly didn't remember, because it is highly likely that maybe she was intoxicated at the time or high or whatever substance that it was to where she doesn't remember. It is possible that it couldn't be Cam or Eric. It could be somebody totally different or somebody that we haven't seen yet. We're only in the 3rd episode, which is absolutely amazing to see how this script is going to grow, because it's only going to get better and better and better. And it is. I look forward to doing more of these reviews. This show is wonderful. As I said in episode 1 for that review, I honestly thought it was going to be this cheesy, terrible show, but it is not. It's very entertaining. I'm a Game of Thrones fan. It's not like it's in The Wire. It's not going to be like this in-depth drama. It's fun. It's quirky. but the writing is not too complex and not too cheesy. It meets in the middle, where there's true emotions, true and real storylines that people can relate to. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, click that notification bell so we can get in that algorithm of YouTube. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, okay? So you don't miss the sneak peeks about what's coming up next. You can also keep afloat of what's going on in my personal life. Check out those additional recommended shows that I have in the pinned comment as well. And let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Wu-Tang and American Saga, which this season just ended and it was absolutely phenomenal. Feel free to binge watch on that. And we have Queen Sugar, who only has 2 episodes left. So feel free to binge watch on that and join me for the OWN Network's Ready to Love, which is a dating reality show. I got a lot of notes on that, but there's so much more to watch, you guys, in the playlist. Just start with a few things that are in that pinned comment. And if you don't see anything there, make sure you check out things in the playlist. It's a very diverse catalog. There's even Star Trek, Picard as well. Make sure to binge watch on that if you're a Trekkie, because I have a gut feeling that they're going to announce the season 2 information for the show. The filming got put behind because of the pandemic, and I have a feeling that they've been secretly filming and all this good stuff, because you haven't really seen a lot of those actors be active on Instagram as they used to, or being seen. So make sure that you check that out. In the meantime, in between time, take care of yourself and each other. Let me know your guesses in the comments, because I love seeing what you guys think. Until then, I'll see you. Bye.